our last video, we showed you how to create a SUMIF function using array formulas or a SUMIF-X function. In this video, we'll show you how you can create median ifs, standard deviation ifs, etc. using array formulas. Okay, the file will be median if temp.xlsx. Okay, so we'll use some real data, famous data set, the 1970 draft lottery. Now, I'm sure most of you are too young to remember this, but it was during the peak of the Vietnam War, and basically a lottery was used to determine the order of draft priority. So every date of the year, January 1st, January 2nd, through December 31st, there was a capsule with that date on it, and they were put into a big bowl, they were shaken up, and then they were drawn out. And the order in which the capsules were drawn out really determined the priority for the draft. For instance, January 1st was the 133rd capsule drawn, so that would be a draft number of 133, etc. And so what we have here are for the months of January, what were the draft numbers? The months of February, month 2, what were the draft numbers? Like there was a day in February, that was the 4th, I think that was February 14th, etc. There was a day in April, that was the 2nd capsule drawn out, etc. People wanted to know if this drawing process was random because people's lives depended on it. And it turns out, as we can see in a few minutes, it really wasn't random. So how might you show that? What you might do is get the median for each month. The median is the 50th percentile. And see if there's any trend over time. See, the theory statisticians had was these capsules were put in order. January capsules first, then February, and then finally December. So the December capsules were on top, and if they weren't randomly shuffled, then the later dates of the year would tend to be picked out as earlier numbers. And it turns out we can see that that was probably the case when we look at the median for each month. So how could we find the median for each month? Okay, well, let's name the ranges that we have. So we have a column for numbers and a column for months. If I select this with Control-Shift right arrow, Control-Shift down arrow, formulas, create from selection, names in top row. If I go to the name box, I can see I've named the month column, month, and I've named the name column, the number column, number. Now the trick here is to create a new array for like January through December. And basically, if we want the median for January, we should create an array that has the numbers for January and the rest are blanks, because Excel ignores blanks in the calculations. So what we can do is the following. We could say median. We'd say if the month equals this, that's the month range, okay, and then we'll be able to copy this down later. Then we should keep the value in the number column. Otherwise, we'll put in a blank. We need a right paren to close the if and a right parentheses to close the median. So if you Control-Shift-Enter, and that means the 50th percentile or the median of the January numbers is 211. If you want to check that, you could just go through and do the median of the January numbers. But see, this would be tedious to do for the other months the way the data is laid out. See, I get 211 there. Now I drag that down and I get the median for each other month. Okay. And you can see the later months tend to be lower. We'll show that more formally in a minute. But I could also do a standard deviation. See, all I'd have to do is take that formula, I'm going to copy it, too lazy to type it again, and I'll put it equals and Control-V to paste it, and change that to STDV for standard deviation, Control-Shift-Enter. And again, I can drag that down. And if I wanted like the 75th percentile, for instance, I could copy that thing. And basically, I could say, change this to percentile. And then if I think I say 0.75, that would give me the 70th percentile, spelled percentile wrong, of the data set. Like that. So 1/4 of the numbers in January were above 92.5, 3/4 are below. Now to show you actually how this works, let's do that evaluate formula trick. So if I come here and I go formulas, evaluate formula. Okay, so does month equal 1? Well, it gets all the months, 1 through 12, and then it'll say true for January, the month of January, and then it'll say falses. And eventually, see, it picks up the numbers for January, and all the other months are going to turn into blanks. So that it takes the median of January, and that's 211. This is an incredible trick to slice and dice your data any way you want. So what about the fact that the lottery numbers tended to go down through the year, which is consistent with the fact that the later months were put in first and weren't shuffled enough? We could graph this. It's not an array formula thing, but it's interesting. Insert scatter plot. So let's put this over here. So this is 1971. Okay, now let's fit a line to this. Again, we'll have some videos on this, but if you right-click, add trend line, you can fit a linear straight line, equation, and r squared. I'm not going to talk about r squared, but let's look at the equation. You can see there's a pretty strong relationship. If you look right here, the slope is minus 10. Control 1, format cells. I can make this. That means the best fitting line here to this data says the median lottery number goes down 10 per month, which means the later months have lower numbers, which means we probably didn't shuffle randomly. So this shows you how we can use the array formulas and actually something called the Excel trend curve to really analyze an interesting problem. By the way, in 1970, people realized, statisticians, that this wasn't fair and it was a life and death decision whether you got sent to Vietnam or not. And in 1971, they were much more careful on how they sort of shuffled the capsules. And you can see here the medians in the 1971 tab. And there was really not much relationship. I mean, the numbers go down 2 per month, which is really not statistically significant. So I think that's an interesting video showing us how we could use array formulas and statistics to really attack a very interesting problem.
Okay, so thanks for watching, and there's a free course, a free 21-day course from Dr. Winston, and all of these videos are coming from one of three books. So first, this one, which you can see here at the top of the screen, Microsoft's book, which has 355 reviews, and then it's, let's see, 4.6 stars. It's coming from this book as well, his marketing analytics book, which is down here, and you can sort of see 4.5, or his newest book, his analytics stories book, which is here. And with that one, you can see it's 4 point something, or maybe even 5. I don't think it's 5. Yeah, 4.8. And so, yeah, anyways, in the description, there's a free 21-day course from Dr. Winston, or you can go to excelwithwayne.com/free, and it'll be there. But again, thanks for watching, and if you have any questions, just please let us know. Thanks.